What's up, everybody? This video here is the journey to living rent-free, part 1. So make sure you hit the follow button. Make sure you hit subscribe, depending on the platform. But step 1, the number one thing you want to do, let me feed these ghosts too. The number one thing you want to do is get active. You want to get online, probably on Marketplace, Zillow, wherever you can find it. Even if you see signs locally in your neighborhood, get out there and start going by and seeing the property, so you can get a feel for what a 5-acre, a 10-acre property look like. But you just want to get active, and you want to go out there and talk to the landowner and walk the property. And that's the number one thing that you want to do, so you can get a feel. It'll get you motivated, because you'll be able to get out there and see, okay, man, that 2-acre property, it already got a septic tank or whatnot. And you'll get a feel for how big an actual acre is, 2 acres is in person, if all of the land is usable. But that's rule number 1 of getting started: going out there, meet with them, talk to them, see what they got going on, see, maybe you can negotiate the price. But the number one thing is just getting on the internet, and also save those. When you see those properties that's for sale, or you talk to the property owner, save it, because sometimes they're willing to drop the price after a few months. So this will be part 1. I got a lot to talk about, but I'd rather just stay on one thing. So this is just part 1. So like I said, make sure y'all hit the subscribe, make sure you hit the follow button, make sure you hit the thumbs up and get the message out there. First time farm. All right, y'all, we back. The journey to living rent-free, part 2. So before we get started, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the follow button, depending on the platform that it's on. So this is part 2. I already did part 1. Go check it out. But part 2, I got to get this hay down, because I went and got some more hay for the goats. So the second thing you want to do, and that we're going to talk about in part 2, after you've found the property that you seriously want, the next step will be to get the parcel number, get the physical address, and Google whatever county it's in. You want to talk to planning and zoning. You're going to call down there and you're going to tell them, hey, I got this parcel number that's whatever size, and they're going to give you the information. So the thing that you going to want to ask them, let me inside of here, y'all. The thing that you're going to want to ask them is, hey, I plan on putting a single wide, I plan on putting a double wide, I plan on letting people live on my property, I want to build a family compound. Whatever it is, make sure you specify. So one of the important things is that when you call down there, don't just say, can I put a single wide, or can I put a mobile home on there like we got? Because I bought our first property and we made that mistake. I said, can we have a mobile home on there? She said, yeah. I heard what I wanted to hear and I hung up. Went ahead and bought the property. It was 5 acres in Georgia. Big mistake. So what I didn't ask her was the most important question: is there a certain age, or how old can a single wide or double wide be that's on the property? Because that matters. So in my case, when I bought that property in Georgia, I didn't know that it couldn't be older than 10 years old. This is a 95. So it couldn't be older than 10 years old, and it has to be a double wide. It had to be 1,500 square feet minimum. So that's some very, very important information. And ask them that if you plan on getting a mobile home that needs some work, that you want to fix up for the people that's doing it cash like we did, if you're paying for it out of pocket. But please, please, please make sure that you ask all the questions that you need to, so that way you don't buy something, because we ended up having to sell that property, because that pretty much put me out of commission when I realized that I'm gonna need almost 80,000 cash. So don't make that same mistake. But this part 2, I got more coming up, so make sure you hit the follow button, make sure you subscribe. This is still part 2, so make sure you hit the follow button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. But another thing that I also want to add on is still part 2, living rent free, is as you get in a parcel number, make sure you write everything down. Go ahead and write down the size of the lot, where it's located, the county that it's in, and also write down what they tell you from the county. So if they say the restrictions is this, and that's what you want to ask them, what are the restrictions? So if they tell you the restrictions is it can't be older than 10 years old, you can't have this, you have to be this many feet from the road, write all of that down. Otherwise, as you go on this journey, you're going to forget, and you may think that this different property told you something else. So write it down so you got everything organized. So when you're ready to make your decision, you're making the right one. But yeah, this is still part 2. I got some more coming up, but we're going to go ahead and end it there. But just make sure everything organized. Hit the subscribe button. Let's go. First time foreign.